All right, here we go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. This is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics, where I discuss and show, especially how you could save lots of money on comic books, how you can make deals, and all kinds of information that I've done almost going close to 10 years now. So welcome to my channel, whether this is your first time or your 500th time. Either way, put it in the comments section. Let me know how long you've been following me, even if it's off and on. A shout out to all my power viewers and ultra power viewers. Now, this particular video I've been doing now going on 8 years since I lived in New York. I currently live in Florida, for those of you who are new to my channel, where I contacted CGC, CBCS, and PGX all at the same time and saw if any of them would be willing to do any deals where I could get some comics graded for a discount or for free and give them advertisements. Well, CGC and CBCS never even bothered to respond. Not only did PGX respond, but the owner himself called me, emailed me first. Then we talked on the phone, and he allowed me to send in 4 books every single month to get pressed, dry cleaned, graded, of course, signature verification if need be. And then later on, thanks to my idea, you can add grader's notes to the back of the slab, which I love that they took that advice from me and allow that as an option, which is not even listed on their website. So to get that, you'd actually have to put that on your invoice and handwrite it. As usual, I let people know I am under no obligation to say anything other than my shared experience. I do not have a signed contract or any contract with PGX. I do not get paid by them to do this. Like I said, it used to be free. Now I pay $50 for the 4 books, but it includes everything. So you know what? With that, I'm still happy about it. So I made sure that they get some free advertisement. So go check out PGX if you haven't used them. I make sure, obviously I get a discount, so that works for me. But I want to make sure you guys, the viewers, get something as well. So if you are somebody that's never used PGX before, if you send 10 or more books to PGX and you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you will get one of your books pressed for free. I always recommend that you specify which one you would like to get pressed. Otherwise, they'll just randomly pick one. But again, you have to write this in on the invoice because this is not something on their website. And for the regular people that have used them before, again, if you want to add the greatest notes to the back of the slab, which if you're going to sell your books at some point or trade them or anything, for $5 per slab, use the code We Love Comics Graders Notes, and you can have the graders notes added to the back of the slab. Now, of course, you can email them and they'll give you the graders notes for free via email, but I like them being on the back of the slab. It just makes it so much easier. So, like I said, especially if you're going to sell them or even trade them, people don't have to assume what's wrong. They know what's wrong. So, again, that's the code We Love Comics Graders Notes. So, while I'm waiting for people to come in, let's give a shout out to the people that are here already. Peter Bishop is first in line. Says, Chris, your thumbnail photo of the 4X kittens is fantastic and perfect for your channel based on your love of cats. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. So I'm glad you noticed that. And it shows that you watch my channel at least semi-frequently, if not frequently. So thank you, Peter, for that. Uh, I'm going to mispronounce this, so forgive me. If it's Daisk or Daisk, please, if you can kind of let me know and correct me, and I'll make sure I say it properly. Says hello. And Lee Smith, my favorite Cardinal closer. Welcome. Good to see you. Says, hey, Chris. So if you've never even been here before, or if you have and you've never joined the live chat, come join the live chat, be a part of the conversation, because you'll get, I picked 2 people out of all the people in the live chat to get the surprise subscriber shout at the end of the video. You don't even have to be a subscriber, but hey, if you want to hit subscribe, that's awesome. Thumbs up or thumbs down, I'll leave that up to you. And if you want to critique the AI art, by all means, I would love to hear your opinion. Join my Patreon at patreon.com/we love comics, and you can get your name up on this every single video that I do. You'll get a shout out. Now, I'll either do your first name. I won't do last names because I'm not going to put somebody's personal information out. But if you'd rather me do a shout out to maybe your YouTube channel or your social network, or maybe if you have an eBay store, or even if you have your own business and you want me to put a website instead of just your name, let me know. I have no problem with that. There is no dollar amount specifically to get your name up here other than the minimum to join anybody's paid Patreon account, which is $2 a month. So I never disclose what people are paying. But again, you'll get your name up here. So shout out to Sith Lord, Michael, Kevin, Dan, Herbert, Annabelle, Jason, Kim, Blessed, and then the last four. Check out on YouTube, Kendall Kid Comics, on Instagram at Scott WU077, Facebook. Check out Stephen L. Turk Author, and then last but not least on Instagram at Silver Age Surfer _comics. Give them all a shout out or a follow and let them know that We Love Comics sent you. So if we can get to 20 paid members in any given month. I got giveaways that I want to give away. I will accept them and I will pay for the insurance and the shipping, and I will ship it all around the world. So it doesn't cost you anything other than to join my Patreon, which not only helps support my channel, but as you heard with what Peter said, I support on average about 20 stray cats both inside and out. Got them all fixed so they don't increase the population. Include vet bills, food twice a day. So the majority of your contributions help towards me saving, the life of other creatures. So if that's something that resonates with you and you want to put any amount in, if we can get to 20 paid members, I got giveaways because it's my way of saying thank you. So there is, again, like what your name shouted out, you don't have to have a certain dollar amount to enter the contest. You could do the bare minimum, which is $2 a month, but you'll get one entry for every $2 that you contribute. So the more you put in, the more chances when we spin the wheel if we ever get to 20 paid members. I'm stuck at 13. We'll see if it increases, but that's up to you guys. So let's put on the video camera. As usual, I will tell you the price I paid like I always do. I think, full disclosure helps people kind of get general ideas because like I try and preach on this channel, the more you learn about comics, the better chances of finding deals. Put in that effort and you will succeed more than you'll fail. One of my subscribers and somebody I'm subscribed to, Daniel Cochran, and the only reason I say his name is because that's what his YouTube channel is. So I'm not putting anything out there that isn't already out there. He's been recently following my advice, and lo and behold, he's all of a sudden massively upgrading his collection. So if you put in the time and the effort and you put in the knowledge, you're going to succeed. So when I share these comics that I'm getting graded, they're usually very key issues, and I tell the prices so you can get a general idea. Now, obviously, if you follow me, you know I get deals all the time. So these might not be the average deals that you can get, but at least you have a basis if you see something online to say, okay, it's around what Chris paid for his comics. Let me go look it up and see if it's a deal or a steal and take advantage of that knowledge. So with that being said, about 2 months ago, I forgot to indicate put one of these in. I have the full set. This is a run that I've been recommending for years. It's something I still recommend. So if you don't have this series, it's Avengers vs. X-Men. It was a limited series, issue 0 through 13. I have all of these. Now, there's lots of variants and everything. So if you can get, like, for example, the black and white variants, or there's several others, get those because you can get these still relatively cheap. But as you can see, there's a lot of writing on here. Each and every book that I got in this deal that I got a couple years ago has between 5 and 6 signatures. So the smallest amount on any of the books is 5, maximum amount is 6. So this one has 6 signatures on it, which I'll tell you what they are. So I paid $16.09 per comic, which to me blows me away because a lot of them have come back 9.8s. They've ranged between 9.2 and 9.8. But to have them authenticated, and like I said, PGX does signature verifications in-house. They also do pressings and dry cleanings in-house. You don't have to end up shipping them other places, which makes the delay even longer and the chances of damage or getting lost in the mail increasing. They will do the signature verification. So this book is signed by Oliver Copiel, Jimmy Cheung, Jason Aaron, Matt Fraction, Laura Martin, and Jonathan Hickman. So again, Avengers vs. X-Men, this is issue number 8. If you can get this series, it's not super cheap anymore like when I was recommending it years ago, but you could still find deals on these because I have a strong feeling eventually they're going to do an Avengers vs. X-Men, and even Disney one day is going to have to smarten up and change their course unless they really want to have the narrative so important that they're willing to go out of business for it. But again, I've said all the time that Disney, the reason they keep doing what they're doing, and a lot of other Hollywood studios, is because they can use them as tax write-offs. But you can only write off so much. So eventually it's going to catch up with them and they're going to lose money. And if people do like what they did with Snow White, and not show up to the movie theater, it's going to send a message. So we, as the buyers, the people that dictate what we want by using our wallets and our pocketbooks, we can make that change happen quicker than, waiting forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever. So, like I said, I paid $16.09 for this book. Nothing majorly significant as far as this particular comic, but again, the run is definitely worth getting. And I'm going to say between a 9.4 and a 9.8 with white pages. Just like I say, when it comes to even a book I think is going to be a 9.8, when I think a book is close to at least a 9.8 or at least a consideration, I will not open the book because God forbid, or Allah forbid, or whoever you pray to, if you accidentally bend a corner or you drop it or whatever. So there could be something inside, but I highly doubt it because, newer books, most people are not going to doodle on like they did in the 60s and 70s. But full disclosure, that's why I always say between a 9.4 and a 9.8. And even if you get something straight off the shelf, it doesn't guarantee a 9.8. I always love when people say, oh, how is a book if it comes back 9.4, 9.2, 9.6? And they say, oh, well, I got this right off the shelf. That doesn't mean it's not susceptible to damage. I mean, how many people could have browsed through it? I mean, the comic book owner could have taken a whole stack and just slammed it onto the shelf, and that particular book, the corner bent to something. So there are no guarantees. So 9.4, 9.8, we'll see what happens when we come back in about 2 months, roughly. Next one. When I first saw the price of this book, I wasn't sure if I ended up getting a good deal. Now, this one is going to be, from what I understand, a one of a kind comic. Now, you'll say, Chris, how could New Mutants 98 be a one of a kind comic? Well, if you haven't watched my videos, you won't know the answer to that. This particular one is not only a newsstand variant, and by the way, I paid with shipping and handling and eBay taxes, because I always include that, I paid $428 for this book. So not only is it a newsstand, but it's a Mark Jewelers variant. But, and this is why I always tell people, make sure you check the book. Always to at least verify that something's in there that they say is going to be in there. Like, for example, the Mark Jewelers advertisement. This particular comic, they miscut the Mark Jewelers variant. It's like on an angle, and only 3/4 of it fit in, and it was cut wrong. So it's a manufacturer's error. So it's not like some kid tried to cut it out. So basically, when it was going through the printing process and then going to cut the book, the advertisement was on an angle and down. So when it cut half of it this way and the rest of it this way. So it's still stapled in. It's still in the original staples. The cut still aligns exactly perfectly with the comic, but it was just a misprint. Well, not a misprint, a miscut, which is a manufacturer's error. This makes this potentially a one of a kind book. Now, somebody asked me the other day, it was actually Daniel. He was talking about he found out one of his books has a double cover. And he asked me, what do you think the value of that book would be? And I'm like, it's hard to say when it comes to rarer books or one of a kind situation. But you only need one person out there to say, I want something that no one else can get, and might be willing to pay severely high prices for a one of a kind item. Because as we all know, the regular version of New Mutants 98 is not rare. The newsstand is rarer. A Mark Jewelers variant is even rarer because it's only between 5% and 7% of a full print run. But to have a miscut manufactured error on a Mark Jewelers variant, first appearance of Deadpool, I mean, you're talking, could there be two of them in existence? Or could this be the only one? So now this isn't super high grade, but it's not low grade either. I mean, might even be very hard to see, but two little color breaking creases on the bottom there, a tiny one on the tip where it's pressed in a little bit, but a pressing can fix that. And I'm not sure if that's the color of the character, but there might be a tiny bit at the very tip. So I would say between a 7.5 to an 8.5 for this book. Actually, I'm sorry, I've looked at the wrong one. I would say between an 8.0 and a 9.2. Because again, I'm always, when I make my grades, I base it on what will it be after pressing and dry cleaning. Now, obviously, if there's a minor color break increase, you cannot press that out. But again, they're so minor that they're not going to bring it down to a 5.0 or anything like that. So I think between an 8.0 and a 9.2 after pressing and dry cleaning, I mean, this could fetch, somebody could spend a poop ton of money for this being a one of a kind. And I made sure I indicated um, to please indicate that it's a miscut in the Mark Julius variant on the slab. So this way people will know. Now, most people will say, well, if it's in a slab, how will you know? Well, before I mail it out, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to take a picture of it. So this way, well, when I sell it, because it'll happen eventually, I'll have a photo of the miswrap so you'll be able to see it. So, um, to me, that solves that problem. But one of a kind for that price, that could be an amazing deal, but we'll find out. Like I said, it doesn't matter if 999,999 people say I would never buy that comic because of that. You only need one person to buy it. So never focus on what the majority think because you only need one person. It's like falling in love. Who cares if 9 million people rejected you if you find the one that accepts you? You don't care about the others. You focus on the one. Unless you're a gigolo and you need to date 9,000, 9 million people. I'll leave that up to you. All right, next up, this is another deal that I actually made with a seller. Got basically 50% off of the price that they were asking for. Very happy with this. Now, this had a minor crack in the case, which I knew when I bought it, so that's not like it happened, during shipping or they didn't tell me. I did know it's like a hairline fracture. So, but I was gonna have it pressed and dry cleaned anyway. So we'll see. But this is flash number 139, high grade, especially for a book from 1963. It's a 7.0 with off-white pages. This, of course, is the first appearance of Professor Zoom, or as most likely known as Reverse Flash. Now, I'm going to crack this open, have them press and dry clean it, but it looks pretty good. So I don't know if there would even be any improvement, but it would go from, at the very least, from a little cracked slab to a slab that is no longer cracked. So I'll deal with that. So, like I said, I paid $547.21. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm going to say the grade, it's going to be between a 7 and an 8. So it might keep the 7.0, but there are some minor things that a pressing could increase. So I think between a 7 and an 8, even if it comes back a 7, I'll be perfectly happy with that because, it's no longer a cracked slab. And again, it's very hard to see, but the crack doesn't even reach the comic. It's just right here at the base. So there's an outline part on a CGC case, and then you have the inner welling. So the crack is only going here and it doesn't even go into the comic area. So, it is what it is. Maybe somebody tried to crack it open and they couldn't figure out how to do it and they gave up. I don't know. Could have been dropped and it just, hit the corner and just caused a little bit of a crack. But, as they say, crack kills. So we'll see what happens when I get that returned. And then last but not least, like I said, and you could see by this one, this year I've been bombarded with flash keys and I love it. And this was one I've never had before. And it's one of those, as soon as I saw the cover, I knew exactly what it was. This was not a buy it now. This was an ending soonest. And I think I paid under about $200 what I was willing to pay for it, and that is Flash number 105, which is not the first appearance of Barry Allen. That would be Showcase number 4, but this is his first ongoing series starting in the Silver Age because before Flash 105, Flash 104 was the original Flash and was the Golden Age series. So Flash number 1 all the way to Flash number 4. Then they switched the character to Barry Allen with a different costume because the original Flash had like a metal helmet with the Mercury ring wings. So whole new character, and they instead of I don't know why they didn't just do Flash number 1 and start it over, because I mean they did that with Journey into Mystery and Tales of Suspense and other comics, Tales to Astonish, um, and a couple of others, but it is what it is. So first appearance of the Mirror Master. I don't think that's any reason why people would buy this. I doubt that character would ever even be in even a minor villain in a movie, but significant book. Now, it has been loved. It's got 2 color break increases down there. So even if everything was absolutely perfect, if everything else was perfect, that alone would mean the highest this could get is a 5.0. But it does have color breaking creases along the spine. The edges are round. So this has been a much read and much loved book. There's another color break increase that goes across here. So I'm predicting this book is anywhere from a 2.5 to a 3.5. Even if this was a 2.0, I'd still be happy with this book, especially for that price. And we know with the reboot, hopefully the Superman will have done justice, no pun intended, and they don't DEI it to death, and people actually like it, and they continue with the rebooting of the DC, because they have said that they are going to be doing a more comic book accurate Flash. In other words, instead of being the comedic sidekick that they used recently, they'd have the more serious superhero version of Flash, which I hope they do. And I mean, that's just going to bring up the Flash keys, even regardless, even if they do make them like a comedic kind of version, which I hope they don't. I really want to see, I don't want Superman to be, I'm sorry, Batman to be the only serious superhero. I mean, Flash in the comics is a very serious superhero. They all will give, one-liners every now and then, but I don't want every character to be like Deadpool and the Amazing Spider-Man. Real diversity is doing more than just changing the sex or the skin color of a comic. It's actually making them not just one bland level of comedic character. And that's what Marvel has overdone lately, where because Guardians of the Galaxy started the whippy kind of humor, that they thought, well, that's everything that we need, just like DC did with Batman, that they wanted to make originally all the Batman movies, like the Superman movies, they wanted them very gritty and very dark. Specific characters work a specific way. That's why people have differences in the characters they like. You make them all generic version where they're all pretty much the same. I mean, it's just not what people want. So those are the four books. So I'm going to be mailing those out today. I was going to be doing this last week, but you guys that have been following me know that three of my cats last week, one of our window panes fell out. I guess there was some extra damage due to the hurricane, and it caused the hurricane last year, and it caused some damage to the windows, at least the brackets, and eventually it just gave way. But I want to thank the 4 or 5 people that were kind enough to leave comments about the post I made, and just to let everybody know here, the few that cared about it, all three are back in safe and sound. So thank you. And that's it. So I'd love to hear your comments. Again, if you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. I appreciate it, whether it's, positive or negative. I'll leave that up to you because each person's taste is going to differ. And then again, if you want to support me and the cats that I take care of, you can go to patreon.com/we love comics. You'll get your name up on the board, even doing the bare minimum, which is $2 a month contributions, because to me, it's not the dollar amount that matters, it's the thought that matters. And if I can get to 20 paid members in a given month, and then more from there, because the more paid members, the better the giveaway will be. And like I said, I will pay for the shipping and handling and the insurance, and I will mail it anywhere in the world. So if you want to support my channel and contribute to helping with the cats that I take care of, none of them are kittens like this at this point. And by the way, for those of you who've been following my channel for years, if you have, just put it in the comment section, let me know. My cat Shy, I don't have the official birthday, but I used April 30th because when I found him on Mother's Day of 2019. I'm sorry, in 2009. So he officially and unofficially turned 16 years old. He's doing very well. He's had that thyroid problem now for about 2 years, but the medication has been helping him. He's lost weight, but he still runs around like a kitten. Still can easily jump up and down on counters like it's no problem. So no arthritis. He has no look of slowing down. So I just thought I would mention that those of you who've been following me for a while now on my channel know that I used to do a lot of videos with the cats, and Shy has been with me now 16 years. Makes me feel old. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's do a shout out to all the people in the live chat, because not many people are in the live chat today. So, surprise, surprise, and the surprise subscriber shout out. Geez, I'm having an epileptic seizure right now. Peter Bishop. Deisk, and again, if I'm mispronouncing that, please forgive me. Lee Smith, Gotham City Comics. Yeah, and yes, I hope that answers your question because I hope you found the kitties that got out. Yes, I did. Dan Lewis and Punisher XS. You guys have all been here long enough to know what to do once the video uploads. You can leave your link to either your YouTube channel, your social network, your eBay or Amazon store or your own personal business's website in the comments section, you do know that it'll go directly to spam because I want to make sure no troll or spammer puts inappropriate links on my channel. So I have to approve it first. So if you see a link in the comment section, it means I did approve it and it will take you somewhere appropriate. So if you see a link, go click on it and go support our fellow YouTubian nation and our comic book community. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I look forward to the few comments I will get. And again, make sure you use those codes to get those discounts if you use PGX. So thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is we love comics. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to have